Welcome to sports, everybody. It was the hope of the B3As that the new Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium would be certified in time to hold its Carifta track and field trials March 23rd and 24th. That, however, is not going to happen. Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, the Honourable Charles Maynard, explains what still needs to be done before the stadium can be fully utilized.
The track itself is ready for certification. There's a process prescribed by the IAAF on how that's done. There's a restricted list of people who could come in and prepare your certification for you or your certification application for you. And so we have to bring in a company to do it. And it's just a matter of getting them in. It takes just about 3 days for the whole process to happen. The actual facility itself is ready. We have some equipment that have arrived and some more that we expect to arrive shortly. And so once all of our equipment are in, then we would be able to bring those officials in to do their certification. In terms of the field, FIFA, again, the field is ready. There's a little bit of work that we believe needs to be done to make it top-notch, but in terms of the general requirements for certification, they are in. And so FIFA has let us know that they would send their officials in to do the certification whenever we want. And so what we wanted to do is to synchronize that so that the IAAF and FIFA would be at the same time.
Now, Chris Brown was also hoping to hold a pre-Olympic invitational in the stadium next month. However, Minister Maynard had the unfortunate task of informing Brown that would no longer be possible. Minister Maynard says he offered the 400-meter national record holder another option, but Brown gracefully declined.
We suggested to him that the Grand Bahama complex be looked at. It didn't have the capacity seating that he required, and so what he's done is agreed to look at 2013 for the inaugural Chris Brown Invitational event. We believe that next year would be good because it'll be a post-Olympic event, and we believe that the credibility that he's built up over the years in track and field will allow him to attract those same athletes that would have competed this year and even more.
Well, the Scotiabank B3A's National High School Championship set to take place March 15th through the 17th at the old Thomas A. Robinson Stadium. One of the schools looking forward to this year's meet are the QC Comets. Coach Gary Markham says his kids have put in the work and they look to reap the rewards.
The Nationals is more for the athletes, to be honest. I'd like the athletes now to compete at their best event. We do push our athletes a little bit for BISS, I admit that. We do like to get points at BISS, but I like the athletes to perform to the best in their in their own discipline. You've got heats, semis and finals in some events, and you know it can be a long 3 days. So we're going to tone it down in terms of our entries and give the athletes who come first, second, third and qualify a chance at Nationals. And we're going to compete at Nationals as well, of course.
Now, with the high school nationals also serving as a Carifta qualifier, Markham is hoping that some of his athletes will make the standards.
Some of the standards are actually attainable. Some are actually quite difficult. So it's an interesting question. We've certainly got Carifta level athletes, but there are a lot out there. I mean, C.R. Walker, the government schools, I mean, the Family Islands, you know, the Moors Island boys, you know, all these boys have got to compete as well as the independent schools. There's a lot of good track and field in the country, and it's testament to a lot of good coaching, and a lot of interest as well. And I think, you know, the B3A has got to take a pat on the back as well because they're promoting track and field massively now, and I think that it's working. We've got some great athletes. So, yeah, hopefully we have some QC Carifta athletes. We like to say we've got a few, but you never know what the competition's like out there.
Well, the 2011-2012 swim season has been slow going so far for our local-based athletes. However, there have been some opportunities available, says veteran national team coach Andy Knowles.
The 50-meter pool has been out of commission up until late December this year. So that put us a little bit behind as far as the number of meets we've had and probably the meets in the 50-meter pool. The kids have been training throughout that, though. We put on 2 meets in short course meters. We had a meet at St. Anne's and a meet at St. John's. So we still try to keep the meets. We took kids away to the Winter Championships in Plantation, Florida. So that was another meet. So we've been trying to keep the level of training up and at least the competition in the short course meters. But there's quite a few meets on the schedule right now leading up to Carifta, so we can try to get a few more of the long course times in.
Now, one of the upcoming meets all junior athletes are looking forward to are Carifta Trials this Friday and Saturday at the Betty Kelly Kenning National Aquatic Center. Noel says come this weekend, he's expecting some top-notch performances.
You're going to get a few more of those kids make standards, some of the younger age groups, and so it'll make it real interesting when we come to sit down the day after and actually pick the team.
Well, a new attraction being added to the 3rd annual Law Enforcement Basketball Challenge, March 19th through the 24th at the Kendall Isaacs Gym. According to coordinator Paul Smith, after a successful 2011-2012 high school basketball season, they knew they had to get the youth involved.
What we're going to do is to involve the senior high school and the junior high school in terms of West against East. And so we're going to have the best out of the western side take on the best on the eastern side, and we're going to do it with the high school. We have sent an invitation to the private school. We have yet to get a response from them, but I think when you look at this, it's going to come down to coaching between Kevin Johnson and Mario Boleg, and Mario Boleg said he don't want to be here, but if Kevin could be here because he tired beating up on Kevin.
Now, coach of the Eastern All-Stars, Kevin K.J. Johnson, responded to Coach Mario Boleg's remarks. He also expressed his gratitude to the organizers for implementing this new initiative.
I just want to thank Mr. Paul for giving the high school All-Stars opportunities to showcase their talent with the best local high school talent in the country. Hopefully the private school will come on board, but I know for the public school, I could say that we will be well represented, East and West. And we all know from history of basketball, from the NBA down, the East always won, and I'm coaching the East.
Well, the Dalbenis Agency Heavenly Angels under-12 girls volleyball team recently returning home with a second-place finish from a tournament in Delray Beach, Florida. The team, which is made up of students from the Yellow Elder Primary School, held their own throughout the 8-team tournament, and they did a commendable job considering it was the first time they'd been on the international scene. Coach Cardinal Monker spoke to us about the championship match.
We didn't hit the ball, didn't hit well, and when you give a team like Ohana, who bomb, set, and spike, comes over, free ball, they sending it back at you with force. So we did some blocking, but they adjusted and they went to the other side to avoid the block, you know. But if we can work on hitting and get that down back, we'll be able to play a much better game.
Now the girls themselves had a great time. It was just a bit disappointing not to be able to finish the tournament as strong as they would have liked.
All the other games we played, we have won. But when we went to the championships, we wasn't focused on it. We was just playing. I could give them credit. They are very experienced team, but I know they couldn't have beat us. I know we had the strength and the courage to beat them.
We could have beat that team, but then we just wasn't showing how we could have beat them, and we just wasn't trying our best.
And that will do it for sports.